You said something, you were talking about stepping outside of your comfort zone, the fear that people have. Like that's what I've noticed with a lot of the guys that tune into what we're doing is they want to do stuff like this. They'd love to go to South Africa and hunt, or they'd love to go to Costa Rica and surf, or they'd love to go on whatever their dream vacation or trip is. But what do you think keeps people from doing that? I kind of try to think about it in my own life. Like there's been things that I've been afraid of. Obviously financial restrictions has been an issue in the past. But I can't really fathom why anybody outside of maybe some financial or time constraints, right? Busy men. Outside of that, if you want to do something and you have the means to be able to do it, it's wild to me that people will make it up as an excuse not to go live their lives.
I've read a lot of books on the end of your life and regrets and things like that. And most people think they have more time. I have more time, you know. Actually, Woody's sitting here, right, in our little makeshift studio, and he wasn't going to come. You know, I says, Woody, you have the money. You're in a financial spot where you can afford this now. You're a part owner of this company. You should come go. And he says, I'll go next year. And I said, no. I says, no, you're going to come. You're going to come. What if you don't get next year?
Yeah.
What if? I'm one of those guys that instead of saying, you know, I think I can go next year, it's like, I think I can't. I just flip it.
That's interesting. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I hope I can, but you know, maybe something will happen that makes it to where I can. And if I can right now, I'm going to jump.
Right.
And he did. And I asked him a couple days ago, you know, I says, how's it going? He says, I'm loving it. This is amazing, you know? And so.
And he got his first African animal today.
Just
got,
cool. Just got his first animal, and something you'll never forget. You'll never remember the money. That's one thing that I've noticed is I've spent a lot of money traveling, and I never remember, you know, in the moment you're like, oh, that was an expensive meal, or that was an expensive VRBO. 3 years later, I'm like, yeah, you know, the south of France was amazing.
Right.
I couldn't tell you at all how much it cost me. So that's one thing I've learned, and I try to tell people. That's where, you know, I think you should learn from people that are ahead of you. That's how I got into travel, is I started calling people saying, how do I do this? You know, and it wasn't quite as popular 7-8 years ago. There wasn't all the travel accounts and stuff that there is now. It's a lot easier. But reach out to somebody that's ahead of you. And I says to Woody, dude, you're not going to regret this. I promise. I promise. And he won't. I know he won't. You know, I haven't even talked to him about that. But once you get out there and you do it, he's going to get to the end of his life and be like, I'm glad I did that Africa trip. I'm glad I went to Alaska. I'm glad I guarantee he's not going to say, I wish I would have worked more.
Right.
We know that. And I don't understand why people don't hear it. It's just, I don't get it.
I don't know. I think, like you said, I think part of it is that they think they have more time. They think, like he said, like next year, and I've said that too, next year, what if you don't have it? And I know you're more adventurous than I am, but like getting outside of your comfort zone, maybe it's an ego thing, you know, where people are like, well, I don't want it to fail. I don't want to look bad. I don't want it to go south. I don't want something to go wrong. And some of those are valid. You know, if you're going to a foreign country with your family, like there's things that can go wrong. There's things that can go wrong if you're driving them to your daughter's dance recital. But now you're talking about going to a whole other country, you know, and then there's always the rumors and the dangers that you see online about, is this country safe? But yeah, I just wish more people would step outside of their comfort zone and just take a few risks.